So it's been a couple weeks since we played. You guys had to leave off in media race. We'll pick up back in. Well, actually, you weren't like in the middle of the scene. We had kind of reached the end of the day. Where you had finally made your way to Stoneholme after a trek of several weeks of delving through the Underdark, or the Darklands as they're referred here in Galarian. Beneath the Serpent Lake area that we see there on our world map, Munir is actually marking the place where Krelgar's Keep is, where you guys entered the Underworld. And you made your way over, down and across to Krelgar's Keep. From Krelgar's Keep over to Stoneholme, bypassing Embla, which you see there on the map with all the colored lights, and making your way out to the outer edge, where Stoneholme lies just beyond the edge of the map here. During your trek to the Underworld, you learned that Embla had fallen to the Drow siege and is currently being held, although there are pockets of resistance and fighting going on within the city as the as the dwarves try to retain control of their city, and most of the clans were prepared to secure themselves in for extended periods of time. So the city is in a constant state of flux and combat. You made your trip over to Stoneholme to try to find allies or gather support, whatever it is that your whatever your ultimate plan is going to be, to try to retake Embla or launch an attack on the Drow or what have you. It's all, for the most part, up to you. And you had you were welcomed into the city because you have one of the emissaries of Embla with you, who's Maya, who was known to some of the dwarves in the city. So they trusted you enough to let you in and gave you the basic restriction that you had to meet with the captain of the guard at the gate each day, and you were also being you were pleading your case to one Carberton Lightbrand, who is actually the royal archivist, who said that he was working to gather up a council for you all to plead your case to. On the second day, you were witness to some of the strange occurrences that have been going on in the city since before you arrived. There were strange bouts of this almost supernatural darkness that had been engulfing the city, and you were all attacked by a batch of greater shadows, shades of dwarves, long dead, that assaulted the city, attacking civilians and children alike. And you guys were able to help drive off the latest wave, at least. So a lot of the locals that witnessed that have warmed up to you considerably. And the next day, you are directed to meet with the tribunal. So essentially, at the beginning of the next day, you can make whatever. you need to make any preparations, you can go ahead and do that. And when you are finished, you can make your way over. You actually have a guard that is going to take you over to where you're going to meet with the tribunal. So let's put you guys. So let's get you guys into Stoneholme. Here we go. And you have been staying at the tallest tankard, which is over here. Which is the only inn for outsiders and travelers coming through the area. So the guard comes to escort you down to the Temple of Industry area to meet with the tribunal. And you are actually invited. Oh, it's not in the morning, it's in the evening. Okay, so you're invited to come in the evening, actually. So you have the day. And I misspoke, I said so you have the evening. So if there's any last minute little things you need to do, you have the day to work on those. It seemed like you guys did most of your shopping and bartering and whatnot already, so you should be okay. Anything special you need to do before the end of the day?
Nope. Can't think of anything.
Okay. So they lead you over to. You would think that you're going to go to the palace, but they actually take you to one of the taverns, one called the Golden Pick, which is considered one of the city's most prestigious restaurants. And you are led in and into the back into a private room that's been reserved for the occasion. You can smell the fresh cooking dwarven food
Just
floating on the air, good sizzle of meat. And there's a fruity scent of properly brewed meads and ales. Some of the dwarves in the restaurant are a little bit cold to most. Well, everybody that's not a dwarf, essentially, they're not. They you kind of get the sense that they're kind of looking down on you. They don't quite pay as much attention to you as they do. Well, they're looking up and looking down on you at the same time somehow. They don't quite respond to your requests as quickly as they do to the dwarves.
pride.
So you walk in and there's a table in the middle of the room. It's a stout stone table surrounded by stone benches, atop which sit plush cushions. And you enter and you see the Royal Archivist Carburton, who's been helping you. He's there and he nods to you. You see him there. And another dwarf stands. He appears to be your host, a well-dressed graybeard with a bald pate. Introduces himself. Greetings and welcome. I am Shaitan, son of Strong, son of Stout, of Clan Depecut, and currently advisor to the king. Have a seat, have food, and after we shall hear your story.
Thank you very much.
And he
Repeat
goes,
those names again. You're the son of who?
son of Strong, son of Stout, of Clan Depecut. I'll
Got it.
put it in the chat for you.
Nah, I was just being silly.
Yeah, I was just like guessing the spellings of these names.
The
and then
spelling,
seeing
the
how
spelling
far
is
my notes
nuts
are.
on some of these. Yeah,
Yeah.
like Shaitan.
Oh, I was wrong. Okay. Mhm.
Son of Strong.
I was just joking because we were just saying so many different sons of. So I was like,
Yeah.
Depencut was the cult.
Well, I was way off on that. Yeah,
The
I had
clan,
yeah.
rather.
There
are other seated. There are others seated around the table. You find their names are Lady Haikal Balatum, and then Exemplar Thramira Greathammer. So these are the four that you will present your case to.
You're a great hammer.
So they bring you food and drink and pretty much whatever it is that you ask for. And you're allowed to fill your bellies as you see fit.
Simon will take some hearty Jordan food. We appreciate your hospitality.
Fool's cap in German. That's funny.
Yeah, that was probably not an accident.
That's interesting. And as
So, Simon, shouldn't you introduce us to your fellow dwarf?
Not the only dwarf here. Yes. Yes. I've greetings to Lord Carberton, all these other assembled fine. Foolish is the right word. All the other fine managers of this great city.
So, Carberton will do most of the introductions for you once everyone is eating and enjoying themselves. I'll just put the names in here so you can keep track of whom you're talking to. And he'll go around the table and introduce everyone. And he says, "Yes, I have. It's taken me some time to gather together a proper, even-handed synod to hear your tale and present your case to the king. And these good dwarves have agreed to hear your petition. And when dinner is concluded, you shall have your opportunity to present yourself before the tale-telling tribunal by telling your tale." So everyone is finishing their food and their drink. And Shaitan stands and raises his cup to you. "Greetings and welcome to the citadel of Stoneholme. Though your visit comes at a rather inauspicious time, we dwarves aren't ones to skimp on hospitality. So I hope your stay has been pleasant thus far.
Here, here.
I am Shaitan Depankut, royal advisor to the king, and first seat of the even-handed synod. Along with me are my sister, exemplar of Trud, Thamira Greathammer, also the overseer of Stoneholme's trade and clan relations, Lady Hikal Balaton. Motions to Lady Hikal. And you are familiar with Royal Archivist Carburton Lightburn. It seems you have quite a tale to tell us of your arrival here at our home, and I, for one, am eager to hear it.
The character, I guess the people who were actually there for that adventure would probably be better to tell.
Yes, okay, so we'll talk out of character for just a moment. Okay. So this is essentially a social encounter, okay? And they want you to tell your tale, as a story.
So, shall we begin at the beginning of our tale?
Let me
Snorri.
give you the mechanics behind it right quick. So you're going to be given the chance to give your tellings of the story, probably divided into 3 pieces, okay? And it can be explained with a variety of skill checks. The PC can attempt a check using appraise, such as presenting a trophy from your tail, bluff, diplomacy, handle animal, such as pushing an animal companion or familiar to reenact the events, intimidate, knowledge skills, perform skills, sense motive, or spellcraft. Example being presenting an acquired magic item. But you have to be careful not to bore the dwarves by using the same skill over and over.
Oof.
No pressure.
Yeah. I am bad at all of those things.
Okay, since there are 3 parts, I would say every one of us 3 will tell another part of the tale. So we wouldn't, so the dwarves don't get bored too fast.
So you have tale 1, which would be the tale of what happened in Rybalka at the beginning. Tale 2 would be the rescue of the slaves. Tale 3 would be the journey to Stoneholme.
Excuse me.
Essentially.
I'll do the slaves one.
Okay. Does anybody want to begin at the beginning then? This is an opportunity. You can either role play it out or not. You can just say, well, I'll tell them about this and just make your skill check or whatever. I mean, that's fine. It's all up to you.
What was the
So
name
do
of
we
the?
do we separate? I mean, my question is, do we do it separately each section, or do we just kind of interchangeably jump in? Do you have so when you mechanically, you just tell us at what point we need to roll whatever, right?
Right. Okay.
Okay.
I'll do the first part. I just can't remember the name of the artifact that the Drow stole the mode of light from.
It was called the. I think it's called the Moon Shard.
Moon Shard.
Double check.
And what was the mode of light? What was that called?
Yeah, it was the Moon Shard.
So they stole the whole Moon Shard?
Yes.
Or just a part of it? Okay.
Yeah, they stole the actual. Yeah.
The Moon Shard.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll start.
What was the last part of the story? I'm sorry.
The travel to Stoneholme.
Yeah, your journey to
Okay.
Stoneholme.
Unless you want to start. No.
No. Since I'm the Drow in disguise, I think the Downworld is my expertise.
Oh, I think I've got a big finale in mind for your part too. The big reveal. Dun 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 dun.
Okay, then let me tell the first story.
No, I was thinking you could do it. You drop your disguise.
Oh no!
Oh, I won't. I will not.
Roll for initiative.
War! Shall we fight?
That would be dramatic.
But I'm
Look
here
how
to fight
easy it is
against
for
my.
a drow to get into your city.
Yeah,
I'm here to fight against my brothers.
yeah. I need to sharpen your defenses here.
For they are evil, and we shall overcome them.
You guys can assist each other if you feel somebody needs a little help, so you can do that.
Okay, I'll assist.
Okay, so Snorri, you want to go first then?
Yeah, well, just I don't really have much to say anyway. So, I'll just say my name is Snorri. I am the son of Hafnir, who is a. I don't know if you're familiar with the surface world. There's an elfin settlement called Rebelka. Has a long history with the natives, the Klevekians. My father was an elfin hero. He sailed across the Acadian Ocean and helped settle Rebelka. And he fell in love with my mother, who was a Klevekian sorceress. So from these two people, I was born. Two people who were opposed to one another at one point. So
And then I slightly whisper to a message to him: "You must keep them entertained, my friend."
I'm not a dancing monkey, Lucian. I'm a wizard. I know of magic, and I know of that which it takes to work the magic. That is all I'm skilled with. As you can see, I am not an entertainer. I am not a bard. I am here specifically not to help your people, like these other good people are. I made a promise to somebody.
That's gonna be helpful.
I made a promise to someone to recover an item taken by the Drow in a raid on my city, on my hometown. They took something away from a friend of mine, and I promised to return it to them. That is why I am here. And he'll get into the specifics of it and make a religion check
Okay.
to try and entertain them. This is the item of importance to my people.
Do 27. Very good.
The Doc Evs came and they used a superstitious they used the superstition of my people against them with the foreknowledge of astrology and astronomy, and they almost enslaved the people from my town. But as Lucien will tell you, we slew those Drow. But they did escape with the item that I am sworn to retrieve for them. So that is why I am here. But it just so happens that you're fortunate that my purpose falls in line with your own, because I don't know if you know this or not, but there is a dark elf sorceress who can gaze into your city at any time. And I'll explain that to them with a knowledge arcana check.
Okay, very good.
So you are in a great deal of danger, whether you know it or not. The people of Embla have experienced what your future will be if you do not help us. And I'll sit down.
Hmm. So, so Carburton seems particularly interested. He says, what do you tell us of this moon shard that the Drow were seeking? Do you know for what purpose that they would seek such an item?
It's probably to control night and day.
Very interesting. You guys can make a sense motive check if you want to see how the dwarves responded to your first tale.
No.
Okay.
Snore is mostly uninterested. How they respond.
Well,
He just told him exactly why he's here.
Oh no,
And-
it sounded like that chick. To me, it looked like they was amazed.
Exactly. Not interested at all. Snorri's here to build his personal power and get this moonshard. And if they don't like it, he'll leave.
Well, they seem to listen keenly. So, Exemplar Thramira speaks up and she says, "This is most unfortunate that the upper worlders were attacked in this manner, but it was good that you were all there to respond and provide your expertise in this time." And they all kind of nod. Yes.
Lucian's about to tell the part where I killed the Drow priestess single-handedly. Go ahead, Lucian. Tell the tale.
Okay.
Then the people were kidnapped along our journey and taken into an encampment. Oh, they had mighty giants and all kinds of wizards waiting on us and everything. And that's my bluff. I'm gonna take 10 for 24.
Okay.
And so we had no way to enter to save the people. Because we are the mightiest and cleverest of allies together. So as we were trying to figure out the way to go against this mighty brigade, this fort that had hundreds of people on guard. Of course, that's part of the the bluff.
Right.
The cleverest of us all, I must say myself, had to devise a plan and to sneak in to their stronghold through an underground cave in order to figure out a way that we could get inside and safely rescue all of the said people. We were able to do so. On the way out, we were ambushed, and the mighty Snorri struck down their mighty queen. And then I'm gonna do a. What would the choices say? The same thing can't be done. I'm gonna use
Appraise,
diplomacy.
bluff, diplomacy, handle animal, intimidate, knowledge, skills, perform, and sense motive.
Okay, I'm gonna
Spell
do
craft.
diplomacy. I'm gonna roll diplomacy, and then I'll search if I have to.
I'm going to aid with.
Okay.
Okay.
I rolled horrible.
It's okay. You probably got +2 coming because I'm going to cast the snowball spell, and I'll pick an innocuous object and I'll
Oh, I got 18. No, I didn't. I saw the 10.
snowball it.
A 10. I got 18 on it. That's not bad. And then he aided.
Yeah, and that was the
Um,
priestess's head.
And that's what you did. And he struck the priestess down with a mighty blow, and we were able to save the 1,000 people that were taken. Oh, mighty indeed we were that day. Oh, mighty indeed.
For Mike G, that was a 45 hit point crit snowball.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
That is a
it
bad
was
snowball.
pretty cool. Yeah,
Do you have any trophies or anything from the battle that you want to show?
Was that the weapons we got? I'm trying to remember.
I just have a dragon skull, but that was another battle.
That was a,
I'm
that was
trying.
a
I'm trying to remember when did we get all the different weapons like it's like the
Yeah, I mean,
bow
well, they had
and
all like the basic Drow shit. I mean, you
yeah,
got
yeah. I
helmets
had
and
a
stuff.
couple
Yeah.
of those things, but they disappeared in the Fey realm.
and this bow was acquired on this bow as a reward was acquired along the way during this battle, I believe. We have so many mighty battles that we have been successful in. It's hard to keep up, but that's how mighty we are.
So you see that they're listing, and Carburton actually seems rather interested in your journey through the Darkwood. And they all seem to kind of get bored when you're talking about the battle a little bit until Snorri steps in and spices it up with his help. And Maya notices this and he says, friend Lucian, you're skipping over the best parts. Tell them of our encounters with the Fae in the Dark Wood." And they all go, "Ooh, Fae! Oh, really? Tell us."
Tell them of the well, Lucian.
So we had to go against the mighty Fae again, and they start chasing us. And we tried to fight them, but the trees came alive and everything, and we had to run away because there were thousands of them chasing us in the woods. Could you imagine going against the Fae in the dead of night
Mom,
in the
can
woods?
you give mommy a spanking?
That was weird.
That was the Fae.
Okay.
Is that part of the adventure?
Let's see. Okay, we will. Which we're doing a. Okay, I'm trying to remember sense motive. I try and if they were trying to use intimidation, let me see if I have any ranks in it. Ooh, no, I won't try intimidation. And I'll try praise. Ooh, this is gonna be a rough one.
I'm going to.
I'll take 10 and get a 17.
I'll ask them. What do you know of the first world?
And everything for 17 with a praise, since you can't use the same thing over and over.
I'll do a knowledge point to assist them.
Okay.
What do you know of the first world?
And Carburton says, yes, well, I am quite interested in the activities of the Fae and indeed very knowledgeable about the area of the Dark Woods, and I can tell by your intimate knowledge of the word is skipping, blanking out of my head. I can tell that your knowledge of the transient nature of the Fae proves that you did indeed have these encounters through those treacherous woods. And he nods, and they're all kind of perked up after the talk of the Fae and whatnot.
And they all came after us to the point that we had to escape down the well. And that's how we end up underground.
That's how we ended up a year later from one day of our life.
Well, that was next.
Yeah.
And then, to escape, it was a year later, even though it had been just a day or two for us. Oh, those evil magics the Fae have.
We were transported to the first world, where we had to, basically survive.
And they're all quite interested by that. Okay, so Lucian, you can tell that they got a little bit bored with your telling, but it's because you got assistance and had props and stuff that you were able to recapture their interest. And they nod and they sip from their drinks and they're looking around to see who's going to tell the next leg of the tale. So Maya stands up. He says, "Well, I should tell it this time was I was in Embla going about my duties when the talk of the Drow attacks on the long road became much more frequent. We were losing merchants and travelers had been attacked on the road. And I made the decision to journey to Rybalka to gain allies to help us deal with this problem. He goes about the his story of journeying to meet with you guys and to get you to help him out. You all agreed to travel to the Underworld and see what you could do. Let me see what he's got to roll on now. He can actually. Yeah, he can do it. Let's see. 24. Okay. And he will. Yeah, so he'll hold up like some more of the like Drow hand crossbows that you got and things like that to show as proof to get another bonus to his roll. So he used diplomacy. Okay. And they nod and listen. They seem more engaged because he's a dwarf telling the story for some reason. And that led us to our final leg of the journey. And he turns and
Yes.
starts looking at the rest of you. Yeah.
Before I speak, here is a little gift of mine, and I will give them some of the alcohol I brew before.
Oh,
The
they like that.
the strong stuff I made just to show them what alcohol really is. And
they
then
like that.
this is just to make the coming easier, because I will just have very dry stuff to tell you. And I present the map I have been making the whole journey underground. And yeah, then I will tell them, oh, so we entered here after we slain a lich and his powerful undead giants. And we made our journey here this way to Stoneholme. No, not Stoneholme. Embla. And here did the Drow made fortifications and watchtowers into the earth and stalagmites. We sneaked past them to not alert them. And then we came here to Stoneholme in order to find aid in our quest to rescue Embla from the Drow. So I will make a knowledge geography for the map.
Yeah, they definitely like the telling of your journey through the Underdark and whatnot. Pikel Balatum seems most interested in your telling of your description of the various roads and the various passages that you've traveled through in the Darklands, and we'll give you a +4 for your for bribing them ahead of time with your alcohol.
It wasn't a bribe. Yes, it was.
It was a gift.
It was a gift. So that would be a
drunken
28
ears.
then.
Yes, 28. That's very good. And Maya says, yes, and we're pretty certain that we know who is behind this assault, for we all know that the Drow are, despite being advanced magical society, that they are chaotic and in a constant state of warfare amongst themselves. But we have come across the House Sigil that we believe is responsible for this. He nods to Snorri. I think you guys have got like 1 or 2 different versions of the sigil. Like you had some, you got cloaks and various other things that you could show them. to reveal the sigil of House Gull Lion.
I thought we dumped it all though, so we weren't getting scryed on.
Well, I know you dumped the book. You definitely dropped the diary that had that
Yeah.
detailed some of the scouting and whatnot that they'd been doing around the area.
The same drow house that did their thing on the surface ineffectually. So hopefully we'll be able to free the people of Embla.
So they listen and they nod. And they look at the evidence that you've presented to them.
I cannot stress how important this is. They won't stop. Not for Stoneholme and not for the surface.
They've already overtaken the city to the south. You know they will be next here. But maybe with your aid we'll be able to stop them there and reclaim your sister city.
Yes, I'm kind of surprised that a year had gone by and you had not acted. And we were on our way to act, but we were delayed through no fault of our own.
Yes, Carburton says, yes, we have been. It was decided some time ago that we would do our best to fortify the city and not weaken Stoneholme. For this citadel existed before Embla, and the dwarves here knew well enough to keep to themselves. And it was those that chose to intermingle and deal with the upperworlders that left to form Embla, forever making themselves vulnerable to just such an instance. Drow were looking for weakness, and Embla has shown themselves to be weak. But we have taken steps to fortify Stoneholme, and we feel confident that we can resist whatever assault the Drow may throw upon our citadel.
Do you know? We were assaulted in the street by powerful shadows.
Murmur,
Just-
rhubarb, rhubarb.
Just one day ago. It was if we were not there, who
It
knows?
was today, wasn't it?
It was
It was either yesterday. It was either yesterday or today. A bunch of your citizenry would be rising in shadows. It's like a plague that propagates itself. Once someone is slain by one of these creatures, a less powerful shadow rises. We ourselves were nearly slain by it, so I don't know how your normal citizenry would do.
So Shaitan speaks up, the advisor, and he says, yes, there have been many strange occurrences here over the past few weeks of a strange darkness engulfing the city and the talk of undead shadows moving about within the darkness. I don't believe the rumors of the devilry at play, but
That's not the devil here, that's the Drow.
he says, yes, that is what I believe, that this coincides with these drow attacks, and perhaps this is somehow related to the activities of the Drow here in the Darklands. But you have provided compelling evidence to back up your tales. We see that you have acquired many items that show proof of the Drow treachery and their operations throughout the Darklands, though we are not entirely convinced that they will turn their attention to Stoneholme next, for we do believe that the city is too well fortified. Such an effort would be a waste of Drow resources. But we cannot turn a blind eye to our fellow dwarves and their plight in Embla. And Carburton says, but Shaitan, you know, we do not have the resources to mount an attack upon Embla ourselves. You must tell them the truth. And the dwarves all look at each other.
You mean that your stone guardians don't work?
I see that the rumors have made their way even to foreign ears, indeed. And the advisor motions.
Don't blame your people. Elven ears are superior.
The advisor motions for the doors to be closed and whatnot, and the guards to step outside. So it's all just you guys and the and the members of the even-handed synod. He says, "Yes, I will tell you the truth that the city was besieged centuries ago by the great dragon Ashardalan. And though we repelled the Red Dragon's attack, that it did manage to steal away one of our greatest treasures. That being the Fist of Moradin, the architect of Stoneholme. For not only did he lay out the design of this very citadel, but he helped in forging the guardians that stand outside of our very gates. And any who wielded his warhammer, the Fist of Moradin, could command the guardians into battle. And in conflicts in the past, they have always stood true and allowed us to repel any enemies that came to our gate. But it has been some time that we have been without their services. For us to now take our forces in advance on Embla would be foolhardy, for it would only leave Stoneholme vulnerable to an attack by the Drow.
So this fist, we would be able to fight the Drow. Is there any way to find where the fist could be now?
And Carburton nods and he says, yes. The great dragon took it and retreated to its lair. A lair located here in the Darklands, but further to the north. Hidden inside a great spire known as the Heartfang Spire. Excuse me, the Nightfang Spire.
Well, not the first dragon I killed.
Not even the third one. I mean, I forgot about the white dragon on the way here, and then there was the black dragon. Of course, your first victim. Yes,
It was a white dragon.
Yeah, on the way here, don't you recall?
No.
Just outside, there was the older dragon, and we killed 2 of its brood. Remember? You might
away that day.
I haven't
It was
been.
scouting that day, I believe.
I've missed
you
this.
might have been scouting, yes, with Ingri. It might have been near the Yuletide season when you were baking.
Brewing his libations.
Yes, yes. I believe it was Lucian and I that handled that one.
So I must imagine that that you sent warriors after this great dragon the first time. Are his defenses great?
Indeed. Lady Belatum speaks up and she says, indeed, we attempted to regain the fist of Moradin from the great beast and were repelled. But to our delight, the beast itself has left this plane behind. But its citadel remains quite fortified and has repelled any attempts to infiltrate it, as it has become overrun by the undead. And Carburton speaks up. He says, yes, a cult dedicated to the great dragon infested the citadel of the Night Fang Spire for centuries. But according to legend, a great powerful vampire ventured into the citadel and subverted all that once served the great dragon to his will.
Vampire.
Yes.
I've never faced a vampire, and I kind of asked the party, do any of you know about these vampires?
One moment, let me make a religion check.
Okay.
We've seen the vampire before in the coffin in Rybolka.
Yeah, we killed it right off. Before, while it was most vulnerable.
Yes. Okay.
That's the best time to kill them.
It's the only time to kill them, actually.
So you're saying these vampires are easy to kill? Then let's be
You have to get them right at the right time.
When it's daylight, yes.
Yeah, when they're resting in the coffin for thousands of years.
So,
daylight may be a problem.
so with that roll, you remember you acquired the diary of that particular vampire, and he did detail some of his journeys, and you think this actually rings somewhat familiar to some of the writings within his diary.
Oh, okay.
And with that, I got to take a bathroom break. So we may as well all take a bathroom break.
Okay.
Take a quick
All
5
right.
minutes.
All right.
Come back in.
Back in about 5. All right,
Yep.
cool.
So we already killed the vampire? Or is there a second one?
Okay, is everybody back?
Yes, I am.
Yes.
Okay, looks like we'll just give Mike
What was the name of this dragon again? What was the name of the dragon? Did I have know the name of it?
a Chardalon.
I shot on.
I can't for the life of me remember the name of that vampire that we roasted.
Did we know the name?
Yeah,
It
we
was
had
in
his journal.
It was in his diary.
Oh, okay.
It was
Yeah.
Hold on.
Aline. It was Aline Durqua, I think. First name was Aline.
All right.
That was many moons ago.
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay.
Let's see.
This is
Yeah, the vampire encounter was at the end of the opening. So it was Aline Durqua. It might just be Alan, just a fancy way to spell Alan. Okay, so Lady Belatum elaborates somewhat on the tale of a Chardalon spans over 1,000 years. Long ago, a Chardalon, the great red dragon, wreaked havoc across the land and gathered nefarious cultists to worship him as a god. This cult of Ashardalon erected their central temple in the Night Fang Spire, a massive stone edifice stretching 1,600 feet into the air like the tooth of a long forgotten aberration. It is said that Arshardalon slew a cult of druids, all but one who managed to escape and gained revenge by carving Ashardalon's heart out of his chest, destroying it mortally and mystically. To protect future generations from devastation, the druids infused their stone circles with spells. Centuries later, it is said that his cultists returned and took the dragon's heart into the Nightfang Spire, where they set about making ready for Ashardalon's return. It is said that the cultists were led by a vampire of great power, who set about turning his followers into undead creatures by committing mass suicide. And there they sit and wait inside the great Nightfang Spire and await for the day that their god will return.
it sounds like a danger to the whole land.
Indeed.
Uh,
Fortunately, the spire is remote enough that the undead have not been a plague to us, but they have also kept our treasures and artifacts deep within their spire, and we've been unable to penetrate their defenses to regain what is rightfully ours.
How long is the journey to the spire?
Lady Belatum says, well, the spire can only be reached by traveling into the valley from which it extends. And journeying there would take one back through the Darklands to the upper world. Journey could easily take a year, if not longer. And Carburton speaks up and he says, my lady, if I may, there are other ways. It is said that there are hidden passages that lead into the spire, but these are ways that are not known to the dwarves.
Do we know who may know of them?
And he says, yes.
Maybe they're known to the Drows.
Well, there are other cities and dwellings in the Cyclopean deeps beyond the Drow. For there indeed there are serpent folk, strange denizens, dark folk, cities of endless darkness. But there is a place where all who travel the Darklands are welcome to come and trade and barter. And it is there where a guide might be found to these ancient passages. I am speaking of Keskarax. It is there that one might find a guide to lead them through the hidden passages to the Nightfang Spire in a much shorter amount of time than traveling back up the long road and across the upper world.
How far did you say it was to Keskarax?
Keskarax is, depending on one's speed of travel, perhaps less than a week's travel further deeper into the Darklands below. But such a journey cannot be undertaken lightly. I have spoken with the Synod, and we have agreed to offer you a reward of 25,000 gold pieces should you be able to travel into the spire and return our missing Fist of Moradin to us.
And the heart of the dragon?
The heart of the dragon? We have no desire of such a thing.
Is that 25 gold pieces each?
20. Well, you can divide it up however you like.
Okay.
So, can you describe this? Can you describe this Fist of Moradin so we know it when we see it?
Might be a bit below our going rate, actually.
Will you be able to give us any items that can aid us in this?
Yeah.
In actually battling a dragon?
Yes, there is no dragon. The dragon is dead.
The vampire then.
Yes, vampire and the undead is what will need to be contended with. Yes, actually, we can help you. Yes, we will give you access to our smiths.
A cleric?
And to our... Is that what you need, is a cleric?
Yeah, that's what we need, yeah.
We'll give you access to our smiths and whatever provisions that you would need to gather from our market and our districts.
Hopefully the dragon wasn't made into an undead dragon. That would be... Ooh.
Now, according to the
Nice.
legend, the dragon is no more. It is only his cult that sits there waiting through eternity for his return.
Well, it sounds like we don't have much choice.
Oh, we do actually have.
Anything to help him below.
We have. We could just go and assault Embla. That's without going through all this.
That is true. You can go whichever way you want to go.
Oh, we can get aid. And with gold and whatever we find in facing a vampire. And it's a
Yes.
deranged cult.
It interests me, this venture. But it was a further delay. But what's a couple of weeks or to a month? We've already waited a year.
Yeah,
I've waited a year.
Yes.
Maya says, yes, I agree with Snorri. We've waited too long. I say we take the fight directly to the Drow. But the dwarves of Stoneholme have pretty much made it clear that they don't want to attack Embla without the help of the Guardians. So that's where it's up to you guys to decide what you want to do.
I say we help them because they may be able to aid us, at least distract them at the front gates while we sneak in the back, the rear, or through the tunnels unaware.
You have my sword.
And my warhammer.
Maybe not that sword. You take things with that sword.
We don't want to touch it, but
Watch where you aim that sword, yes. So while you're all thinking, there's like a furious pounding at the door. And Carburton opens it, and the guards escort in a page. He says, "My lord, we are assaulted at the gate. To arms, to arms!" And they all jump up and they go rushing out.
We have to sit looking at each other.
Like, not our problem, it seems.
Do we owe anything for this? Can we get our tab?
I would have to follow. I mean, unless they tell me to stay here.
It's just so funny. Like, that's to help you. You gotta do this, and they can need help now. And we're like, all right, we'll do that. While you all fighting, we will go face the dragon or the vampire. That's funny. All right, I guess it's the hero time again, huh?
Yes.
It's hammer time.
Are we a jaded group or what?
I'm rubbing off on you.
So I guess, shall we go and at least see if it's the dark
Yes,
ones?
something at the gates. Sure.
Okay, so you follow along the commotion of the guard.
I'm casting spells.
Anyone
Drow.
want to have a free drink?
I will drink a thing of Cat's Grace.
Yeah.
The one you gave me last time that I didn't drink.
How dare you?
It's not a bad idea. I'm going to do the same.
So AC goes up 2.
And
So
we'll do
Simon, what's your poison?
2 hits.
literally poison.
Damage.
So you're able to follow along as the dwarves rush through the street, back through Hammer Avenue, through the market, and back to the front gate.
If I only take single moves, how many rounds would that take approximately?
Uh,
I'm asking for a friend.
That's a good question. I actually don't have this measurement set.
Just say one.
Yeah. All right, mage armor it is.
Well, I mean, you're running through the city. I mean, you probably
Yeah,
Okay.
whatever. You want.
Snorri's not running through the city. Snorri's doing single moves and he's casting spells.
I actually don't have the distance set there. Let me see if I have a key for this map.
Okay, let's just say I'm 5 rounds behind. If everyone's doing doubles.
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, it takes you some time. You have to run all the way through.
I'd be trying to keep up with.
And then I don't take the cat's grace till we get to the fence. I'll say I do that when we get to the fence.
Yeah, I'm going to cast Mage Armor, Shield, Shield of Faith, and Barkskin.
I will just have a shield.
So
As we approach the gate, I use my emblem and to cast shield, which brings my AC up to 27.
Okay. Gather you guys together.
Just cast grace.
I think I will also drink my Dex mutagen.
Ooh, you call him mutagen, are you?
I rarely use them.
I was going to say you don't use the mutagens too often.
They slowly kill thee. Little by little.
Because they decrease my wisdom modifier.
Oh, I'm gonna pull up.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Pretty.
Just 2? What about the other 5? So, Simon, is there anything you want to have, like fox cunning, owls with wisdom, or would you like something for your AC?
Simon doesn't know what you have to offer, so he would just say whatever he thought was best. What do you want to do? He's just trying to trudge along as quickly as he can on his little dwarf legs.
Oh, I might have something for that.
You can cast fly on me then.
Okay, so you make your way through the
I will give Simon a potion and say he can drink this before combat starts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or it's an extract, not a potion, but you know the idea.
Simon probably would know the difference. So, potion. I guess I'll take that potion when I'm here.
So you guys follow the dwarven retinue through the city, through the market, back to the gates, and up to the battlements where you can look down and see what all the commotion as it's going on. And you hear a voice booming out. And know too that I shall lay 2 dwarven heads upon your doorstep for every day that you make my masters wait.
I think that may be something they're not telling us.
So you hear dwarven voices calling out, "Don't do it! Don't listen to them!"
You've killed my father.
So you look out and you see several demonic figures on the bridge leading to the gate.
Oh.
And they have a couple dwarves hostage. As the dwarves are shouting out, "Don't do it!" And he reaches over with his claws and snips their heads off. Snip, snip, and the dwarven heads roll across the bridge.
Monster.
So that knowledge planes?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's give that a whirl here.
And until you surrender the Sunrot to me, know that I shall bathe these battlements in blood.
I think they might be looking for us.
And Carburton, he turns toward you and he says, "What do you know of this foul beast?"
I got a 22 on my check, so I'm not sure what.
Let's find out what
do I know?
Nothing. He's cute and
he's
fluffy.
immune to.
It does seem to have 6 appendages.
Okay.
The other ones are Babur demons, no?
Yes, you recognize the Babau.
Yeah. We've dealt with them before.
Yes, you have. So you pretty much know all about those guys. The Babau.
Just tell me he's not immune to fire and I'm good.
I think they are. I think they're most of the energy except for acid, maybe.
Probably sound, I bet.
Just for those that may not remember, I'll show you about like as well.
Oh.
So
We faced those before?
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
you faced
Yeah.
them before, yeah, a couple times.
Bunch of them.
That's a cool pick. I mean, art.
They have sneak attacks and
Oh, they were little BB things, huh?
Did
Yeah.
you guys, did the other picture pop up for you guys?
Yeah,
Yes.
the one with the
claw?
lobster claw.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so Snorri, you do identify it. It's a tall, broad-chested humanoid with a distinctively canine grin. As it lifts its arms to ready for combat, a second pair of arms capped in needle-sharp pincers unfurl from the sides of its torso. You recognize it as a shearing demon. They are a mortal fusion of humanoid and Glabrezu demon. Although much of the demon's inhuman characteristics, like its canine head and immense size, are lost in the transformation, all shearing demons have a wolf-like quality and hungry yellow eyes. The broad torsos support 4 dense arms, the lower pair of which still end in the progenitor fiend's dangerous pincers. The extra muscles and limbs of a shearing demon add to its already compact frame, meaning that while they rarely pass a height of 6.5 feet, they never weigh less than 400 pounds. Used to being the ruinous tempters of mortal kind, shearing demons still trade in self-destructive desire. Although they cannot use magic to grant extraordinary wants, as they once could, these fiend fuse use their glib charm and fearful presence to tie the aspirations of the easily swayed to their own greedy ends. So 22, you just barely identified. So you're gonna know the basics. Yeah, they've got dark vision. It does have some resistances and damage resistance, but you're not sure. You're not sure what. That so they can attack with their arms as well as their pinchers. I don't know to say
So far,
pinchers or pincers. I have no idea.
so far, all the demons that we've encountered so far have had DR, cold iron, or good, and they have pretty much 10 resist on everything. They're a lot of times they're completely immune to one kind of energy. So keep that in mind. Usually have spell resistance, that kind of stuff. So I don't know anything specific about this guy, but I know enough about demons that it's probably what we're looking at. Not yet. They will submit them. They will submit their will to me.
Yeah, so you remember the basics. So yeah, DR cold iron, immune to electricity and poison, resistant to acid, cold, and fire, and then spell resistance.
Yeah, it's the basic for pretty much all demons. Okay.
Does have other unique abilities, but you don't remember from your studies. This is a rare demon type.
Yeah. I've never even heard of this as a player. So.
Yeah.
I know Glabrazers are tough, but I don't think I've ever faced one in Pathfinder.
So yeah, so it's out there shouting. And it says, "For each day you make my masters wait. Before presenting the sunrot to me, I shall slay 2 more of your kind."
Oh.
We are a demon. What can I do for you?
What? Do the cowards present themselves? Have you courage enough to entreat with me?
I've stepped through the gates. I'm speaking with you as we speak, if you will.
He's so brave. Close the gates. Oh, just joking. Listen. Just joking.
I am Snorri the Sunrot, but
I'll go over here.
I'm also light touched.
There is a wall up there, right? They're
Yeah.
standing on the.
I
So
assume.
Nathaniel will fly up here and ready his gun.
Yeah, so like there's a battlement up there at the top where those guys are standing. So yeah, you can go up there if you want, or if you want
Yeah.
to go through the gates with Snorri, you can.
I'll be up top and I'll levitate down.
Okay.
Just give them a bit of a show. While they gather themselves, I'll be the distraction. What does your mistress want of me, demon?
My
You
master.
said master. You
My
said
master.
master, but it's your mistress.
No, my master bade me to bring you your hearts, and I have come to do such.
Will you do me the honor of telling me who your master is? I thought it was someone else, but so many people chasing us, I don't know. We lose track.
You show how little that you know, little
Yeah.
human.
Yes, my ignorance is legendary.
For you have no idea even now of the forces that gather at your gate. For my master lies in the abyss.
Well, you have me at a loss. If it's the matter of the book, you should know I don't have it anymore. It's lost in the Fey realm.
I know not these riddles that you speak to me.
Ah.
He's looking for a sunstone. Don't you listen?
No, it's the sun rot. That's what we're called.
The sun rot. Yes, my master Demogorgon bade me entreat with thee, and to bring you his heart. Bring him your hearts.
Oh. I was unaware I had any business with your master.
So knowledgeable, and yet you know nothing.
The plot had yet to be revealed to me.
You know these lands and the winding passages within the depths lead further into shadow, and some darker and deeper, known not to mortal man, lead not only to other cities, but other worlds. You have no idea of the forces amassing against you, even as we speak.
Alright, so while we're going on like this, I'll just start casting mirror image.
That's what my roll is for right there too. I got 6 images.
He does the same thing.
Oh,
Cool.
So we went there. Guess I'll start drinking that potion if everybody else is casting spells.
this is when I do my casting. Blip, 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 blip. drinking and casting. And see anything else I could drink?
So you can see there are bodies of the dwarves that they mutilated there. And he motions, "Faithful ones, bring me his head."
My heart. You want my heart. Don't mess it up. And I'll draw my sword.
And that would probably be a good time to roll for initiative.
To click on the character.
Be one of those days.
Yep. Shoot a 1. Oh, 3. Lucy, eh? He's always first to go.
I be quick.
Very good.
Plus, Simon drank a haste potion. Or a haste extract.
Okay.
So I drunk a potion. I have no idea what it did.
It was haste.
Oh, there you go.
Two.
Okay, is everybody on there? Oh, I gotta roll for Ryan.
Are the gates open or are they closed?
They're open.
Okay.
Well, I mean, they're
Just wanna
closed.
make
I
sure.
thought Snorri walked out. So they're actually closed. You can get them to open.
Yeah, I levitated
Okay.
down.
You guys
Okay.
tell me where you're starting when all the talking that's going on. I mean, there's time for you to move around. Where are you?
Okay.
Yeah. I'm hovering about 10 feet off the ground, looking very imperious. My
just
sword in
right here.
hand.
Standing on the
Sneak
battlement. How high up is the battlement?
It's probably but at least 15 feet up. Maybe
15.
20 feet.
All right.
20 feet probably. Yeah.
All right.
I yell out. No, I don't yell anything. Well, I want to cast a spell, but I want to make sure they get hit with it. So I yell, "Open the gate!" A moment.
Did I put him on there? No, I did not. Yeah. There we go.
It can wait.
Okay, so Snorri is hovering. Thander is up on the battlement. What about you other guys? You're back behind the gate.
Are you?
Is everybody else behind
Simon
the
would
gate?
be on the
then?
battle. Simon would be on top of the battlement, probably.
I'm right here.
He has a
Okay,
plan.
right there. Okay. All right. So we'll say all you guys are up there on the battlement then, except for Snorri and Lucy, who are in the front then. So the gate is closed. Okay.
How high is the battlement?
20 feet.
Okay.
Okay, so Lucian, you are up first.
Okay, and I'm gonna move to here. I'm gonna climb up right to here, and then I'm gonna cast haste so I can get everybody hasted.
Nope. Let's get the.
Then I end.
Shield.
Now you
Simon
would,
turns.
you would have to be all the way up on the battlement to get down.
Oh, what?
Yeah, because it's a burst.
Oh, so
going out from you.
So this isn't high enough to get there? Oh, about right here. I can't tell by looking at the map. Can I get to here or this too low?
Well, I mean, you'd essentially have to climb up to the top of the ladder.
Simon drank a potion of haste, so he would be hasted.
Well, yeah.
You pass on everybody else.
Yeah, it doesn't count everybody. Okay.
Yeah.
But everybody. Alright, so what I'll do then is I'll double move and just climb up so I can cast and then I'll intern.
Okay. Simon, what do you do?
I am going to step to the battlement. Then I'm going to use Blade Rush to like basically fly down to the ground and kind of like strike the ground. I don't know exactly how hard I'll be doing that because you got triangles and stuff, but let's just say I mean, it's 30 feet. Let me see, but it's also diagonal, so you're going to lose some distance. Let's see, I would have been here to. We'll assume probably right around there. So it's probably about as far as I can go using algebra. Okay. So yeah, just kind of strike the ground right there.
Okay. Does that have any effect, or are you just doing a superhero landing, or what?
It's a little bit like a superhero landing. I kind of like, strike the ground with like a fist, a stone or something like that.
Okay.
Boom. But it doesn't have any effect other than that.
Okay. Okay, so this guy teleports over there.
Oh.
Well, that was an option.
He teleports over here. Snorri, what do you do?
I will. Since we're already hasted and shit, I'll just attack. We got a flank going here. Let's see here. Here, fitting. Where are we here? 1 and 2. Oh. So the 12 doesn't confirm.
12 is not going to confirm. Yeah, but you get the hit.
So to be a 14 with the yeah, that's not going to do it. So it's 8 points of damage. Based on the nature of the sword, I think it overcomes the damage reduction.
It does. Okay. So you need
And then
to make a reflex save when you chop into him. It's like you hit him and like it knocks his red slime off their body and swag.
Ah, okay. So let's see here. Where's the reflex? Oh, good lord. There we are.
Okay, very good.
What a
Nice.
5.
So you're unaffected by it.
All right. And that's the end of my turn.
Okay. Did you hit twice? Did you hit 2 times? Oh, the 10 minute. Oh, that's
Yeah, I rolled a 1. Your second attack.
okay. And then my move action, Maya can do his song as a standard action. He will cast Good Hope for you guys.
Oh, sweet. Good hope.
Yeah. Let me make sure he doesn't need protection for that. Yes, Good Hope as opposed to Bad Hope. Okay.
As opposed to Bob Hope.
Doesn't need to touch you. Okay. So you guys are going to get a total of +4. So
+4 to hit and damage.
Yep.
And saves.
Yep.
+2 to saves, maybe.
Yeah, +2 to saves. So it'll be +4 to hit and damage, and +2 to your saves, and song checks and stuff.
Yeah, let me just look it up just in case.
Yeah, saves, attack rolls, ability checks, skill checks, and damage rolls.
There we go. Okay, cool.
Was Simon included in that?
Yes, everybody.
Okay, good. Wasn't sure if I was in range. All right, cool.
Okay. And he's going to teleport over here. Nathander, what do you do?
Is this guy moving down here, or is he just standing there waiting till his minions are slain?
He seems to be standing there, but you're seeing like 6 versions of him, and they're like all spinning around in place.
Yeah, he's out of my reach, I think. Which, yeah, one step closer. I will try to shoot at the green one.
Okay.
Just to see how effective this would be.
Nice.
Whoa.
Well done.
Oh,
Nice.
shit.
Well, the damage, but, yeah.
The fire, 30.
That's
Fuck, yo.
Yeah, I'm assuming that confirms.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
think so.
confirmed. I'm gonna tell you what we'll do. This is gonna be a major fight, so we'll do crits all through it. So you got 20. That's just regular, your regular crit damage. So nothing special on that. Outside of what you get. So is it just 25 for the physical damage, or is there anything added to that?
It would be just that. Would that be enough to kill it? Or
No,
Is that all
part of it's
the
not
good
gonna-
hope stuff added and
part
all
of it-
that?
Yeah, part of it's not going to bypass the DR, so the DR is going to adjust it. Yeah, so with the good hope, you essentially got plus.
And it's-
the
Inspired.
good hope, yes.
The +4 damage, too.
Yeah,
+4 to damage, yes.
Yeah.
so it'd be +6.
So it'd be +8. Plus
No.
8 total.
The damage would be tripled with this gun.
Oh,
Oh, is it
Oh.
times 3? I thought it was times 4.
No, what?
that's
Okay, wait.
12.
Let me
Okay,
check.
So 25,
There's
12,
one dime.
37. 37.
Multiply
Physical.
4. Yes, you're right.
Oh, it is 4. Okay.
So would it be additionally 16 damage?
Yes.
Yes.
Shit.
Yeah. So that's 41 physical and 30 fire.
Okay.
By my math.
All right, so the bullet blows a chunk off of him, and then the fire is enough to damage him as well. Does not kill him though.
Burning demons.
He recoils in pain as you blow like chunks of him off. It burns.
You know what? I'm going to use my mythic ability to increase the damage, to maximize the damage. Would be 5 times 12 would be
60.
yeah, 4 times 12 would be
48.
49 points of physical damage, and then 38 points of fire damage. Plus 16 with good hope.
Whole lot of damage.
And that, Mike G, is how he killed the dragon.
See,
We should be
Seems
like
effective.
multiple of them. With
Yeah.
a little bit nerf.
Okay. Yep. Well, that'll be enough to kill. Blow them apart.
cool.
One demon down. Uh-oh. Y'all got to run.
Don't worry, they're weak.
It blows apart and then like burns to ashes.
Okay. That will be the end of my turn.
Oh, shoot.
Lucien.
Well, since I'm like on top of this thing right here, I'm gonna move over to here, hanging off to the side, and then I'm gonna cast the haze so I can get everybody. Will that be close enough to get the party?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll cast haste. End turn.
Simon, what do you do?
So is the big pincer demon just kind of sitting there?
Yep.
I'm gonna have to fight these guys for on top of me. I am going to hasten too, so I'm going to just well, one of these demon things, but not fast enough. So I guess I'm probably not thinking they're a huge threat. So I'm not going to go full out. I am going to just attack them with my usual kinetic blade, and so this, and then the haste attack would be. So only the first one of that, not the second attack from the second attack.
Haste.
So if 34 is enough to hit, then 36 damage, and if 29 is enough to hit, then that would be. I guess that's additional, isn't it? Or is that already calculated in for you?
It's on this it says plus, so it's plus.
Okay. So it'd be that 28 plus 32 if that was a crit confirm, and then down there that'd be 36 more damage. If 27 is enough to hit.
Which one are you attacking? The red one behind you?
Yeah, the one next to me.
Yeah, that confirms.
So I guess it'd be all like 36 plus 28 plus 32 plus 36. If 27's enough to hit him.
Yes, 27 is enough to hit him. And
Yeah.
you make a reflex save
Okay.
for each time you actually
Hit him, which is 3 hits. Okay. So reflex.
Save. Okay, so
Is it still standing? Alright. And I will
you're.
Yeah. That's
I'm
a lot
hoping
of
I'm gonna
damage.
splatter on the ground. But,
Yeah, you
know.
finish him with the third one.
Alright, then I guess I'm gonna actually step up to this next one because I don't like them being near my friends. Actually, I'm gonna. Yeah, let's step there. That's a can. Alright, and that would be my turn.
Snorri.
I'll float down on a diagonal and do the same thing. Attack with Tiafing.
Okay. That hits.
Okay, so it'd be so see if the damage is plus calculated. So it's 4 more on each one.
Okay.
So it would be 17 and 18 points of damage.
Okay. And then make 2 reflex saves. Acidic slime
Yes,
splashes on you.
of course. Oh, I only heard one. Oh, okay. Did one too many, but
Yep, you
they're all
made it.
good.
Yep, you made it. You're able to twist your blade and make it spray on the dwarf instead. Okay.
Hey, this partridge.
That's not cool, man.
It's that one.
I'll enjoy tasting your pain in the abyss for all eternity, he tells you.
Well, I'll meet you there. Only if your soul does not end up in my blade.
You think your little blade can hold my soul?
Yes, I do, actually.
I honestly don't know if demons actually have. I don't think they're. I think they're soulless at this point because they're made from souls. You know.
I think they are pure souls.
Yeah. Well, they're like perverted.
They're not a
souls.
separate soul.
Yeah.
Like one
Yeah,
unit.
I will not engage you in semantic riddles, mage. Rah. All right, Maya. Not a whole lot Maya can do useful melee with these things.
It's already been pretty useful.
Yeah, the buffs.
Yeah, those buffs are nice. Makes it a lot easier to get something.
He's got anything else that would work. Ah, there we go. He can dispel. Okay. So he's going to try to dispel that image. Big guy down there. That's not good. Okay. So he hops back, wielding his spear. Between the two of you, he goes for Snorri. What's Snorri's current AC?
28.
Okay, he missed you. Mithander, back to you.
I will just take my time to reload, and yeah, that will be it for now.
Okay. Next round. I gotta pee again. I'll be right back.
They're drinking.
All right.
Yeah, I've been trying to stay hydrated all week, so yeah.
All right, we can talk strategy.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna drop down and I'm gonna shoot. I'm gonna
your
drop.
damage output is over the moon. Like seriously,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
did
awesome.
a lot of damage thanks to the crits, but Ed was.
Well, I'm
It's
gonna
just
drop
up to Dr.
down.
Order.
I'm gonna drop down and then I'm still hanging off the side. Hit the big demon with mirror image, not mirror image, but magic missile to take out as many images as I can.
Yeah. My concern is the big demon trying to run away.
Would an explosion kill images?
No, and I don't think Magic Missile will either. I think that was the old 3.5. I think Magic Missile will just actually hit him, which is
Right.
good. Yeah.
So I'm gonna hit him at least 5. I'll get at least 5 on him.
Probably has a lot of spell resistance.
Oh no. Yeah. Probably.
Yeah, which is at least it'll hit the images and knock them out, so we can get up to him. So
I
you
know-
all focus on this little demon. I'll go start hitting him with the magic missile.
I know Glabrazius used to be like CR
Before he
14 or 15, something like that. So
Before he teleports in.
or out.
So what is Mithander doing?
He's reloading.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. That brings us next to round 3. Okay, Lucien, what do you do?
Lucien is just gonna drop down off the wall. He was hanging. So I'll do acrobatics
Okay.
because it's 20 feet. For 20, he'll move to here, and then cast magic missile at my man here, which would be already set. Be 5 of them.
Okay. Now, do you acrobatics through that? Because if you drop down where you were, you're going to go into the skies. threaten range with his
Ooh.
spear.
Right here?
Yeah, right there. Yeah, he's got a long spear.
Alright, I'll take the shot. Do I do a second acrobatics to see if I get by?
Yeah, you can. That's what I was asking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so you're able to avoid provoking.
So that's 5 of them. I really just hit it and knock out some of his images and turn for
Okay.
calling Gotho down here.
That is a good plan, but here is your first lesson in Magic Missile, a mirror image. Magic Missile always hits, so it goes through mirror images. It doesn't
Okay,
actually
I
hit
thought-
the images.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was 3.5. It used to knock out the images.
So you need
Oh,
to
I
make
thought it did.
a spell penetration check. So you got to make a caster roll
Spell.
to overcome his spell
Cast.
resistance.
Let's go through spells and caster level.
And the damage should be 5d4 plus 5, actually. If you.
Oh, is it plus? Oh,
Yeah,
plus
plus
5.
five
Okay.
overall.
Yeah, 1d4 plus 1 for each one.
Yeah, so plus
So
2 more.
19.
Yeah. 19 is not going to do it.
Okay. In turn.
Okay, so your spell's gonna fizzle then. It hits him and has no effect. He laughs. Is this the power of the fabled Sunrock? Not enough to scare the children of the abyss.
End of turn.
Okay. Simon, what do you do?
Well, I don't like that guy's just standing back there. Is he casting spells or anything? The guy to the south.
He's been taunting.
All right.
You don't see
and I'm
any
guess-
spells after he did the mirror image. He hasn't done any more casting.
All right. And the guy to the right, he does threaten me, right?
Yes, he's got a long spear, so yeah.
All right. I think I'm just going to eat an attack of opportunity, and I'm going to take a 20-foot move and then a blade rush, and that'll put me right there.
Oh, okay. That changes what I do then.
And I am going to attack him once.
Okay, so when you run up, you trigger his ready action, which was to attack. So
Okay.
He's going to hit you first, at least attempt to. Oh, you got potential crit.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
What is your what's your current AC?
Don't forget your
My
haste.
regular is 26.
26. Okay. All right, so he critted you.
Okay, now I do have an additional ability, so let's see. I have a 15% chance to ignore a crit. I'm going to just roll a d100, and if I roll 1 to 15, I ignore.
Gotcha.
D100, and I do not ignore. Okay. So it hits me.
Yeah, so he crits you.
Oh, we get it. Oh, I thought it was a crit roll. At least the crit roll is not crazy high.
That's fine. I'm a guardian. I have some ways to minimize taking crazy amounts of damage.
That is true.
So, yeah, just let me know how much damage I take or what effects suffer.
Yeah, hold on just a second.
It's fine.
Double checking to see what happens. Okay. Okay, so he snaps at you with one of his pincers and gets a crit on you.
Yeah.
So he snaps you mightily as you run up. It's on your attack. And the damage is going to be 34 points of slashing damage from his pincers.
Okay. Any negative effects or just 34 points of damage?
That's all. Just the damage.
I'm going to use
And,
Sword Blow.
you do get you're going to start taking 2 points of bleeding.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to use Absorb Blow to absorb 20 of that. And then I guess it goes to my next 7 points of damage. Oh, would that overcome damage resistance adamantine?
Overcome it. No, so you can apply your DR. Yeah.
All right,
Damage.
so I take 7 points of damage,
Nice.
and I get some extra DR now. All right. And I get to attack Kim because that was part of my blade rush, and it again just ignore the secondary attack from this.
Okay.
Attacks. That's just standard kinetic blast. So if 29 hits him for 33, and then I have to contend with the mirror images.
Yes, that hits. So we'll roll a mirror image. So he is 6. So you hit an image.
So no damage.
No
Man,
damage.
That's a good mirrored image if he's got 6 of those things. Well, 5 now. All right. That's my turn.
4.
Me and Lucian me and Lucian both have I've got 5 and Lucian has 6 too.
Yes.
Okay, Snorri, what do you do?
All right, so Snorri moves in beyond the spear of this creature and grins
Okay.
as he brings Tyrfing to bear. More skillfully than you've seen him do it before. He seems to be getting better at this whole fighting with a sword thing.
Okay.
The 19 is actually a 21.
That hits.
That's hits, so that's 13, is it? Yep, and then 27 for 15.
Okay. Still up. 2 reflex saves.
Okay.
To avoid the slime. That saves, and that saves.
Enter.
Alright. Aya of Emgod. Yeah, he'll just try to dispel magic with him. See if we can get rid of that mirror image for you guys. Let me, the sheet keeps closing on me. What's going on with that? See what he gets. Okay, so he overcomes. Yeah. Alright, he dispelled it.
Nice.
Oh well, he makes the roll and he's got to overcome the resistance. So he makes this roll to dispel it. Good old
Is it subject to spell resistance?
natty 20. It seems. I mean, it because it's targeted on him. I mean, he's got spell resistance, so it's getting rid of the effect on him.
Oh, resistance, no.
So
Oh, is it? Okay. All right. So
Yep.
he got rid of it.
Nice.
Bink. All right. So mirror images. So you see all the images just combine into one.
Blink.
There he is.
Oh, it's fast.
All right. Now, since you're close enough, he's just going to drop his spear and make it claws and bites towards you, Snorri.
Probably better off to spell some images. AC is 29 now, actually, with the haste.
Okay. All right. Misses with claw. Misses with claw.
Where's Siegel? Oh, good.
Is he less than 5? That'll maybe dispel images.
No, but the last one's going to hit potentially. So how many do you have going?
I've got 5 going, so I'd be on 6.
Okay, so you are 6. And 5.
Okay, so one of the images. Alright.
Mathander.
Yeah, I think Snorri got that, so I will make a full round attack on the big bad
Okay.
down there.
Perfect time to fire.
All right.
Wow, the damage output is
Hit.
amazing.
Hit. And a hit. Okay. Okay, so yeah, the 2 is not going to penetrate. Fire will be effectively cut in half.
They're still coming. They're always. Sorry, +4 for everything because
Yeah.
of good hope. So
The
6.
2 is still not going to penetrate though. It's gonna
Nope.
go
Damn
to
it.
the DR.
12 will be a 16.
Yep, so that'll get through a little bit. And then the 4 won't do anything either. But the fire damages will.
Yeah, Snorri's curious about the fire damage. He's kind of watching this out of the corner of his eyes. He's kind of half toying with this Babua. And wants to see if there is some resistance to fire.
Yeah, there is. I mean, it's you know, so it's reducing all of those, but the fire does get through.
Okay.
So there will be a fireball.
No, I was thinking more along the lines of the Scorching Rays. Scorching Rays Bar and Grill.
Hold on.
That will be the end of my turn.
Cat's coming to let him out. Okay, I'll be right back.
So basically, I'll talk strategy while he's going.
Yeah, I'd get in there flanking if I were you.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
I'm acrobats over, flank him, chippy chop him with I have my cold iron rapier.
Yeah, me and my shadow.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead, Lucian.
All right, so we're gonna go and aid the old Mr. Happy over here, and we're gonna do some acrobatics over. One second. Not good. 18, make it hit. So 2 here. Does he get a swipe at me?
Oh, 18. Okay.
Yeah, real low.
That's going to provoke. Yeah.
Okay. So I got 6 images though,
Okay.
and 27 AC
Okay. He
with
missed.
Okay, and then I'm gonna hit him with the rapier,
Okay.
cold iron.
Ah, very good. So that will bypass his
And then-
R.
And then my shadow envelops him also, so just be the first one. But 26, did that hit him
Yes.
for 16? Hold on, I gotta do all the additions. Actually, that won't be 26, that actually be 28, but it hits anyway. So 1, 2, 4, 16,
It'll be enough to finish it.
17, 18, 19. Okay, in turn.
So you stab
I need
it
it.
from behind, it recoils in pain. Ah! And it bursts into ash.
Thanks.
Okay.
Lucian, the killer.
These little demons just don't learn, do they? Let's
No,
not
they
of
do
them.
not.
Not for the big demon.
So the shearing demon turns to face you, Simon, and he says, so show me why the sun rot are to be feared. I do not believe the tales. And he starts swinging his blades at you and snapping pincers at you and whatnot. So what's your current modified AC?
Yeah, it's 27.
Okay, 27.
Forgot to add the haste in earlier, I think.
Yeah, haste is what, +1, right?
Haste is plus.
Right. I had 20. I thought I had 26, but I had 27 after I checked it.
28.
No,
Nice.
it should be modified. It should be 27.
Okay.
No, I'm talking
Last
about
round,
mine.
that's actually
Not
26,
yours.
and it was actually 27.
You get hit with
I'm
one
just-
slam. Second slam misses. Pincer hits. And the other pincer hits.
Can I get those individually because they're going to apply against my DR individually? unless he has a special ability.
Yes. Just let me double check something right quick. Okay, so you are going to get rended as well.
Fun.
Okay.
He's accurate. He's very accurate.
Made pieces.
Okay, so the slam is 17 points.
So that'd be 8. Okay.
Okay. The first pincer is going to be 9 points. The second pincer is going to be 16 points.
Ouch. Okay.
Okay, and then you got the rend, which is another 15.
Okay. So 3 hits in a rend. Is that it?
Yeah.
So that would be a total 21 points of damage.
And you're going to need to make a will save.
Oh no!
After it rends you because you feel like it's affecting your mind.
That's not good. Okay. That's my weakest save.
Surge that baby if you can.
Everybody's
Yeah.
got one.
You got +2.
Jeez.
And we
Well,
reroll.
I actually have multiple bonuses now because I
Yeah.
have all these things.
Nice.
Yeah, you're inspired and good hope. And
You save.
All right, good.
hey, fine. Fine.
I feel like I fight off as being shaken or something. All right. Oh,
Good turn.
Okay, 2 points bleed.
Any hint at
revenge time. So I'm going to be using kinetic whip now. So I'm just kind of like slinging rocks all over the place.
Okay.
And I'm hasted, so ignore the second attack. You know what? This guy's dangerous. He's actually kind of chunking away at me. I am going to use 2 points of burn on this. Well, I'll use mythic points to pay off, and I'm going to use my compound attack. So,
Nice.
all right. So, does 23 hit his AC?
Yes.
Okay. Does he
No,
have DR?
23 doesn't hit. No, 23.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Does 33?
I thought you said 33. Yes, 33 hits.
Well,
23 doesn't.
a 33 is hit. Okay, so there's 2 hits, then one for 47 and one for 54. I don't know if he has DR.
He does have DR.
Okay. So yeah, 47. It does count as magical, but that's it. Magical and metal.
You need cold iron.
All right. I don't think I have that infusion yet, so I'll have later levels to do that kind of stuff. But okay. So yeah. So 47 and 54 then.
Okay, very good. Yeah, no, you hit him. You hit him pretty solidly. He's definitely. Ah, this is more like it. This shall make your
Yes.
head a worthy gift to my master.
A contest of that then. Let's see who's left standing after this. All right. I think that's everything meaningful I'll do this round.
Okay, Snorri.
Or he says to Lucian, I need a distraction. And he sticks his arm into his rucksack, his bag, magic bag that he has. And he says the word chains and shackle. Shackle clasps onto his wrist. And he pulls his arm out. And there's cold iron chains covered in runes dangling from his wrist.
Nope.
And that's all I can do this round.
Okay.
Lucian, you recognize those chains. Those are the chains that kept the angel shackled.
Spot on that.
Yeah,
Got
Zata, yeah.
yeah, the Azata.
Okay, very good. All right, back to Mr. Maya. the dispel.
It's been very useful this fight.
Actually, I'm not sure what he can do for that. So he's gonna have to start climbing down this way. Okay. I'm coming. Let me get my warhammer. He'll start climbing down outside the battle because that's what he does in the midst of combat.
Been working so far.
Actually, yeah. So he should be able to get all the way to the bottom on that. Yeah, he's got the double.
He's hasted.
Ready. Okay.
Hasted.
In that case, it doesn't.
Remember, he's hasted.
Okay. So you can. There on 20. There we go. Pathfinder. What do you do?
Sorry. Yes, I was muted. I will start reloading my gun.
I thought you reloaded
And
last round.
Last round.
No,
no,
he
I made a
unloaded it.
full round attack last.
Ah, okay.
Oh, that's right.
He unloaded it in the demon.
Gotcha.
I manifested metal in this demon belly.
All right.
Cold blood.
I will shout to Snorri if he needs a smoke cover.
No. It's the last thing I need, actually. I just need him not to think I'm.
Wait till after the fight to smoke, you damnable elf. He almost slipped up and called you a drow. Okay. Lucian, what do you do?
Alright, I will cast Weapon Storm. Will give me 3 energy or magical rapiers. Yeah. And then I'm going to move, and it'll put me.
Give me a clear path, Lucian. I need a clear path.
Oh, I'm just gonna be right here. And then I'm
Okay, cool.
then acrobats right before, just in case he tries to hit me, because it gives me 5 additional feet. It's 55 there.
Okay.
Be sure I don't get hit.
He doesn't have reach.
Okay, 21. In turn.
Okay. Okay. Alright, so he casts defensively and reapplies his mirror image.
Guess he succeeds casting defensive. Alright. That's gonna be annoying.
So you see more
Yep.
of them pop up. I do not believe the tales that they tell. Simon.
On lads, let's pop these images. He is going to. He's probably not going to go full bore again, especially because of the images. So we're going to go just regular kinetic with haste. Okay, so if 31 hits, then they all hit. 37, 29, and 34.
Yeah, those would all hit. Okay.
Yeah, but do they?
So he is going to be 6 again, starting out. Boom. Okay, so there's one image.
Okay.
Which puts him down to. I'll just do 6 as a reroll. That's 5. Okay, 5. Okay, so you hit him with the second one.
Okay. Lowest damage, of course.
How much damage was the second one? 29.
29.
Okay. Ah, you see that wounded him pretty hard. Okay. And so he's still 5 on a 6. 6 is reroll. Okay. Ching! Get another image for the third one. So he is down to 3 images. So for the last one, he is 4 on a D4.
Kill this onion.
Okay, so he's got 2 images left.
Right, that's all I can do with Mirror this round.
Okay. Snorri.
Snorri's going to delay.
Okay.
Really?
What do you want to delay behind?
I haven't chosen yet.
Okay.
I'm waiting for the images to go. Either Maya with attacks or Mythander with attacks.
Okay.
Or a spell or whatever.
So Maya says, well, if that's the case, then I shall attack, as though I had the fist of Moradin itself. So if he goes over here, is that clear enough for you, or do you need...
I just need to be able to get to this space here.
Okay. Alright, so he'll run over here. Start swinging. Well, he can only do one.
Better than nothing.
Yep. Ooh, okay, so he's going to hit. Ka-ching! So he
Nice.
So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. He's 3. Okay. 2. Okay, so another image gone. So it's down to 1 image.
Okay. I'll delay until after Mythander goes.
Okay. Mythander.
You can make me 705 or whatever. Or 704.
Okay.
Then I will make a full round attack without the chemical ordnance,
Okay.
just to get rid of the images.
Okay, he's got partial cover now because he's completely surrounded from where you are. Okay.
Yeah, I figured.
You're having to shoot through your allies there.
Oh, one too many.
But you're aiming against touch, so yeah. Hit. Those would all potentially. So 1, 2, 1, 2. He's on the 2. 1. Okay, so you hit an image with the first attack, and then so the next 2 will hit. Okay. Yep, only one of them did damage. The other didn't penetrate his DR.
That's alright.
But you got rid of the
They
image.
They were just made to get rid of the image.
Snorri.
Snorri charges down the hall, swinging this chain, and the shackles open. I'm just going to try and shackle my wrist to his wrist.
Okay.
I don't know how to do it. I don't know what the mechanic is, but I'm trying to so that
Combat maneuver, just dirty trick, so provoke.
that's fine. Yeah,
Combat maneuver.
I provoke. Does he have reach? He doesn't have reach, does
He
he?
doesn't have reach.
Oh, okay. So I provoke anyway. So yep, you can resolve that first.
Michael Jackson and boy beat it.
Okay, he missed.
Missed. You might have got one of my images.
He didn't.
No? Okay. Just gonna roll. Where's my CMD, right?
Mm-hmm. CMB. Mm-hmm.
CMB.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably not so good.
Probably not.
Probably not. Being a wizard and all. I don't even know where to find it on here.
It's
Man, there we go. CMB.
It's beneath
That's
the
it.
range. Yeah.
Oh, that's surprisingly good, actually.
15.
Oh.
20 would have been better, but you got a 15.
Yeah. So it'll be 17 with the charge. You get charged still
and you
takes
get
effect, correct?
+4 from the spells and buffs.
Okay,
Yes,
so that
yes,
would
the
be
charge,
17,
yes.
21, and I'm going to surge it.
Okay.
Oh, damn it.
That's
Nah.
not going to be enough to do.
Not going to do it. It's a good try, though. You know what I'm going to do, though?
What?
because I rolled a 93, I'm going to re-roll that.
Okay.
20, so it'd be 25, 26.
26 is not going to do it.
Not going to do it. All right. It was a good try.
Yeah, they've got tough CMP. It's good. Do you want a hero pointed and make it work?
Yeah, let's give it a whirl. It's pretty, one more try here. Is it automatically make it work, or do I have to roll again?
No, if you hero pointed, it'll work.
Your hero pointed to work? Yeah, I'll do that for sure.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so you
So
snap the shackles on.
And now he's shackled to me. So I got no place to go. So we're in it. We're dimensionally shackled together.
Oh no.
I beat the shit out of you with that
Yeah, he's gonna fuck us all up now.
Yeah, right. Those were
I'm not even
dimensional
attack this round.
shackles, so yeah, that keeps him from teleporting and like shit.
Yeah.
Is that a spell or is that a magic item?
That's a magic.
It's a magic item. Yeah.
Okay.
They rescued an angel that was being held, and they were able to recover. That's what they were being held
Nice.
by. Okay, so you got him shackled.
Enter.
What
Somebody's-
foul trickery is this?
He was about to find out. Your master didn't tell you about this, did he?
Bah! You elicited a bah.
It's the best they could do.
Round 6, loosen it.
Alright, I'm gonna use a mythic power and surprise strike to move to here. Move to. Wait, hold on. I gotta move my map a little bit. Move to here.
Okay.
And then we're gonna hit him with the rapier.
Watch now, demon, as my more powerful companions fuck you up.
Do you tumble?
And then the
twice?
shadow
Or
email.
provoke?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give us your tumble.
I've done before, yeah. 34.
Oh, very good. All right, you don't provoke.
Alright. So 25, does that hit? Oh, actually be 25 plus
Plus 4.
6. Plus 6.
That hits.
Alright, so for the first one, for the surprise strike, so that for. And we're flanking, so sneak attack would be 16. It's actually another 1d6 because the flanking, the little bonus.
Okay.
Boom. And actually, it will be 3d6 because of the weapon storm. Boom, for 11 more. That'll be the first one. Then we hit the hasted.
Okay.
So that would be 14. You guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
You just got
Okay.
super loud for a second, and then you went back to normal.
Yeah. I didn't charge it like I normally did because I forgot we were playing it. So 14, 18, 19, 18, 40, 31. So for 32 for that first one. And then we do the hasted attacks.
Okay.
Yeah. Boom. 26 for 32 for the first one.
Okay.
And for the second, it would be 29.
So the second one is going to take him out.
Okay. Yeah, my shadow's like, aww.
So you run it through with your blade, and he says, "Ah, Master, I am slain." And he like reaches up towards the roof of the cavern, and he falls over dead. He actually doesn't dissipate because he's currently dimensionally shackled, so his body is not allowed to return to its own plane.
Nori takes his blade,
We can search
drives
him
it into his heart.
Oh, okay.
because he wants that soul. Do you got soul? Well, I want that search. So I started searching.
You can keep his gold. I just want his soul.
Okay, so you drink his soul.
Oh my gosh.
Feel the
That's
power
good.
rush through me.
And you have some pretty wild images come into your mind as well of like demonic armies and whatnot.
Oh wow.
And a great
Snorri's eyes roll back in his head.
and a great like giant ape-like figure with tentacles at the end of its arms, but you notice as it turns that it actually has two heads. It turns and it roars at you.
Good.
Snorri screams.
And with that, the cavern draws quiet again, and until it's broken, the awkward stillness is broken by the sound of cheers coming from the battlements as the dwarves all cheer you all. Rah! They're like beating their armor.
Guys, you dwarves, you guys are so brave. No applause, please. Just give us gold.
Yes, so the dwarven retinue will come out to greet you, and Carberton comes out to talk to you. He says, "You've done well. We have not
Really?
been besieged by creatures such as this before. Do you know what the sun rot they are referring to? What that means?"
Nope.
I'm not familiar with this term. Snorri's just like hunched over this demon. He's like almost on a knee. And he just says to these dwarves, I've never heard this term before.
Never heard this term before either.
And
Literally.
then he starts taking the shackle off once he's sure that the demon's dead.
Okay. So once you do, then it like dissipates.
I could use a drink.
Yes.
Couldn't we all?
We could all use a drink. Well done.
I'll heal
Yeah.
Simon, and I think. Did you take any damage, Lucy?
Ooh. I'm hard to hit.
That's what I thought.
Did he leave anything when he dissipated? Besides that sword of his?
Ooh, that was a nice healing.
Yeah.
Was that a healing spell?
Yeah, it's just a free healing of the day. That's a hex, actually.
Ah, cool.
Yeah.
So much. Thank you. Simon's still missing a couple of hit points, but he feels fine.
Yeah. Maya will give you a cure as well. Cure moderate to top you off.
Wait, while I talk.
Ching, chung, chung.
Yeah, so the sword is remaining. It looks like a masterwork bastard sword. It's not creating magic or anything special. The long spears radiate magic, but Snorri will tell you it's only temporary magic. They're empowered by the babao while they hold them, but that magic will fade.
Mm-hmm.
So do we know who sent him? Did he talked about a master?
Snorri just keeps quiet. He just kind of shoots Simon a look.
I saw that. Okay, I'm gonna do a sense motive.
Yeah.
So I can see if I saw it.
Yeah.
so if I see if I saw it, but
Not
I have horrible sense motive, so
Yeah.
hopefully I roll good.
Maya was
I don't see shit, but I'm a surgeon anyway, just for the fun of it.
Oh yeah, well beat this.
At least I got 15. Better than
Yeah,
average.
beat this. You'll never know, Lucian. You'll never know.
Oh my goodness.
Am I rolling low? Am I rolling low?
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to tell what he saw.
D20 plus 0.
Yeah, Maya's suspicious as well, but he notices that you're keeping quiet, so he doesn't say
Yeah.
anything. And so Carberton, he claps you all on the back and he says, "Well done." He says, "Come, you must rest up." He motions for you to come back into the city through the gates. And all
I
the
told
dwarves,
you we were mighty indeed.
indeed.
You're
Or is
Too
the
I'm
raven
fallen.
sorry,
say?
guys. I have to leave for work now.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Okay,
no problem.
Michael.
All right.
We're gonna
Thanks.
wrap it up right
Have a
here.
good night.
Are we picking it back up next week, or are we going to
Yes.
wait 2 weeks?
No,
next week for sure.
Next week will be our
All right.
regular.
Okay.
Yeah.
That works out
Okay.
good, actually. All right, very good.
Yeah, and you
I
guys
didn't
can
even see it.
yeah, and you guys can think, too about. So, has everybody agreed that you want to go to this the Night Fang Spire then and do this thing, or you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
let's
do
do
that.
that. Inspire. Yeah,
Okay.
we like all the
Yes.
extra adventures. It's
Hey,
like
we
kind
get to
of
go
reroll.
get a vampire.
Yeah. Okay. So they
Yeah.
told you it was undead. Okay. So you know
Okay.
what you're going to have to face. It's a tower of undead, and they also said they will help you. So figure out what equipment you need. Okay.
Yeah, we need
Holy
scrolls or
Holy
potions
water.
of
Stakes.
death ward.
Yep. All that stuff.
Oh,
Research.
Death Ward's a good one. We
Yeah, I
don't
don't.
have clerics,
I
so I don't know how we're going to get rid
on
of
my
points.
list. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys
So-
want a cleric? I mean, that means you'd have to replace Maya. They could get you probably find you like a dwarven cleric in town if they wanted.
We like Maya.
I like Maya. Let's stick with Maya.
Okay.
We'll fight
Yeah.
them conventionally.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll find ways around it.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm really worried about is haunts. Like, if there's any haunts, I don't know how easily we'll be able to handle them.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
But yeah, the Death Ward is a good idea.
Yeah. If we had some scrolls or potions of that.
Okay. All right. Well, if you guys need to, you can chat about it on the Discord, and
That's true too.
I'll
Sounds
actually
good.
look at it.
get a
Ah,
We'll pick up next week.
all right. Well,
All
thanks
right.
for
Same
doing this.
that time.
Good game, guys.
Appreciate it, Jamie.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Thank-
Good.
Everybody.
Night.